Dulam, Bendable Straws are in our alliance. Juicy is in that alliance, so I vote for one of those as sleepers. Valley Club, the Envoy Cosmic Crucible tournament is done, and we learned a few important things from it. How good will the new rules for Season 8 of Cosmic Crucible be? And how broken Old Man Logan is. His event is coming up tomorrow, and we'll discuss some of the bugs. Also, the Alpha Flight team was revealed for the new showcase raids, and will these be better or worse than the Greek raids? We're discussing all of these things and more in this edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. Joining me this week is a Cosmic Crucible Tournament champion, joining us all the way from the Shire. And if you're ready for all these topics and more, then Brother Dulam, let him know what to do.
Let's go smash it.
And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. This is the Envoy that won the Cosmic Crucible Tournament, Brother Dulam, and this is your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. Do this video every single week, keeping you up to date on everything that has happened and is upcoming in Marvel Strike Force. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. At least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on the channel. A lot of times it is a lot more. We have news videos like this, question and answer videos like this, everything to help your experience in Marvel Strike Force. But my goodness, what an experience it was for you, Brother Dulam, yesterday in the Cosmic Crucible Tournament. How fun was it?
It was a lot of fun. It was really cool seeing like what works and what doesn't real time. Obviously, it was a massive learning experience and playing with new characters we didn't have access to before as well, and seeing how they work and seeing what works against them. But it was a really fun time. I went against Monguli round 1, and then I got Pathfinder, who I know his chat was helping him out, so he was letting chat run the whole thing, which I thought was fun. I thought that was a great idea. Cool, yeah. And then I went against Updog in the finals, but I did come out victorious, 3-0.
Now with this, did you get to test anything beforehand at a test server, or was this the first time that all of you guys were using these Cosmic Crucible rules, using some of these new teams? I noticed some of you guys were using Old Man Logan in the test server, and the rest of the what is the team, Mercs for Money. What did you guys get to test anything before this, or was this first time testing all these new rules out, the order of operations, the room bonuses, all that stuff?
No, yeah, this was completely blind. We did not test this ahead of time. We did not know if things were going to be bugged. We didn't know what room rules were going to work, how things were going to operate. This was a full first look at it. So this was like a lot of learning on the fly, and you could see the scores from all of us getting better. The first round, I dropped like 5 fights. Second round, I think I only dropped 3 because I chose to sack them. And then fourth round, and then third round, I one-shot everything. So you see the progression of everybody getting better because you're learning what works, what doesn't, and then how serious you need to take Old Man Logan.
My goodness. Now, there was some surprises with Old Man Logan, but were there any surprises with some of the room bonuses, how the order of operation work with their passive, how all the interactions? Were there any major surprises from what you actually read for the room rules and then what you saw in the gameplay?
Yeah, room 5, villains get revive. And usually before, if they have exhausted, they drop the revive. They can't spawn with revive if they have exhausted, but they actually kept the revive when I sacked Superior 6 in room 5. So I still came in and they still had the revive. So that was a little bit of, I may not be able to clear this still. But it did work out. So that was interesting. And then room 6 is really cool. Like everybody ulting turn 1 usually, and then spreading all the positive effects to adjacent allies is fun. It just takes so long to spread those effects. So it's kind of a time-consuming room, so it could be a timeout issue. But that room turned out to be a stonewall for a lot of people, depending what you put in there.
So 5 and 6 were the interesting defenses, Brother Dulam. Were there interesting teams that you saw that worked a little more effectively than others in defense? These are kind of some of the thoughts that I had placing them on defense. As you look at these room rules and some of these bonuses, what would you say is like some lessons learned from what you're going to do for defense in this upcoming season?
Don't underestimate Spider Society in 4. They're really good in 4. I know a lot of people were underestimating them, and they were doing pretty well. Room 5, the revives will stay after the exhausted mechanic is put on there, so please take that into account. That's definitely really interesting. Gotcha. And then room 6, everybody's ulting. And that one was where I had Super Scroll. So Super Scroll was ulting turn 1. I had Super Scroll Dorm. I think I had Thanos for the first 2 rounds or first round, and then I switched it to Omega Red, and then I used Black Knight because he ults turn 1 and he's always a nuisance. and then Cap America for more deflex. Room 1 and 2 were usually where Mercs for Money was. I had Mercs for Money in room 2 because of all the bleed mechanic and stuff like that. And then I put Infinity Watch in room 1 because they're clearing the vulnerables, so it's making them a little bit tankier. So if you're putting vulnerables on Infinity Watch, they'll end up clearing the vulnerables and getting 20% of their max health per vulnerable they clear. So it makes them a little bit tankier. And then room 3 was a little bit of a non-event. Extreme seemed to be the best team in there because Nightcrawler does have that exposed mechanic, and he will hit a little bit harder because he'll hit over and over again on people who have exposed. And then room 4, again, most everybody had Spider Society in there. Spider Society seemed to be a really good team. Obviously, it was test server, so we all had even accounts, so everybody was 7-7. So Spider Society was pretty hard to take out because the characters we're used to having diamonds on didn't have diamonds. So they were so people were underestimating them. But I brought either APOC. I brought APOC into them twice, and then I brought full Secret Defenders with Cosmic Ghost Rider in one of them, and it took them out pretty easily. But that team is not to be trifled with at all.
All right, do not underestimate them. All right, let's start your victory speech. Now, Dulom, before you start this victory speech, I predicted last week on the news, I don't know if you watched the news, I predicted that you would win. So I want to brag a little bit that I predicted you, but let's get you your bragging because you're the one that actually did it and won. So what do you have to say to the community and all the other CCs that you smashed in this tournament?
Yeah, so first of all 3 people that believed in me, thank you. I appreciate that. Valley, you being one of them. Run 7 was openly endorsing me. That was great. But it was a lot of fun. It was exciting going against other content creators as well. Everybody I got matched up with, I was like, oh, I got Mongoli, or oh, I got Pathfinder. But you know what? I smashed all of you guys, and most of you guys had some help too. So you're going to sit there with voices in your head. I had none of that, and I still won. But on a serious note, honestly,
wait, hold on. Before we get serious, I'm just gonna let's keep the trash talking. So everybody else that participated, I can't even fester in a loss because I didn't even participate. Yeah. But everybody that participated, you guys are gonna fester in that until the next time we do this. And I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna try to arrange my schedule because I want to do this next time too. And I wasn't sure what it's gonna be. My schedule is tough. I'm gonna fix it so I can participate in this.
Honestly, this was probably the most fun I've ever had playing Marvel Strike Force. The amount of people watching, the amount of community engagement, the amount of hype that was around this. Run 7, Juicy, and Rolf kind of being sportscasters for it and going different streams and stuff. I thought that was so much fun. I thought that was amazing. I really hope we can keep doing this. I had so much fun playing this. It was really exciting, testing new rules, trying new stuff, just going full YOLO. And honestly, I had some really hype reactions to some fights, especially in rounds 2 and 3, when we started really limit testing some stuff that should not have worked but did. So definitely check out the VOD. I'll be putting up videos on that as well on my channel. I know Valley's amazing. We'll have my links in the description, but I'll definitely have those all up there.
Make sure you go subscribe, follow all that stuff there. But let's talk about some rewards. There's a bounty that came all the way from the Shire.
Yes.
Unfortunately, this is not real.
No, it is not.
But I love this. I think Benny made this. This is awesome. It's all the way from the Shire. It's a Dulom calendar. All right, but there is a real reward. This is not real, but there is a real reward. If you have not claimed this yet, guys, you can get 3 million gold, 250 L4 training mats, 200 power cores. This code does work. It took me 5 attempts to do this. It said track in 120 seconds. One time it said the code is invalid, but keep trying. If this code does not work, you will get your stuff. Dulom, you guys figured out something very, very important through this Cosmic Crucible test. Old Man Logan, broken in a few different ways. What is broken about this character and why is he so overpowered right now as it stands?
Yeah, so in his kit, his passive, he gains 20% speed if he is hit. That's the way it's written. But the problem is it's actually working if any ally is hit. So he is always getting that extra 20% speed, which is kind of ridiculous. There's also an issue. I think he's supposed to not be able to get stunned when he's over 50% health. But I think he just can't be stunned, period. And it's not like, oh, I can trauma stun him like Super Skrull. No, you can't. Stun does not apply to him ever. it never applies to him. So even if you Black Cat special him trauma stun, the stun never lands.
So it's not like Doom where they get stunned, then they clear it. It just never ever goes on him.
It's never even there. So and if he hits his ultimate, you essentially lose. It was an auto loss. Like when he ulted,
claws out. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely deleted every single person on your field. And if they didn't delete them, they had 15 bleeds, ability block, trauma, like it was disgusting. Like you literally had to cabal him or you were gonna lose. It was really rough.
All right, so what do you think they're going to do about this speed? When a character attacks the speed, feels speed by 20% of his character. It's only supposed to be for old man Logan. It's going for the whole team right now. What do you think they're going to fix that? They're going to leave that, reduce the speed. What do you think the solution for this is?
If they leave it for all allies, first of all, he's going to be one of the best plug and play characters. He's going to be so good everywhere in his.
What about if they made
Dimension.
it just mercs for money allies? Would that be?
Even if it's just mercs for monies, that would be so strong.
All right, so they got to fix it to make it like it's worded.
Yeah, either it's just him for the 20% or it's all allies, but it's only like 5%.
10%.
Yeah, they need to drop it heavily because even 5% speed is a lot.
Yeah, and when it's an entire team, right? It's a lot.
Exactly.
So we'll see what they do to fix this character. Obviously, he doesn't need to be fixed because in his current state, he is way too broken. We're going to discuss his trials that is coming up tomorrow in just a little bit, but let's move on to the other big thing that we got yesterday. Info on these spotlight raids. These are going to have 3 difficulties, normal, difficulty 1, and difficulty 2. And the way the lanes is laid out, non-mythic characters, first 2 nodes, next 3 nodes, Spider Society, then the next 4 nodes, Alpha Flight, and then you could use whoever you want on the boss. And for this, there are some requirements of ISO 8, which is not that bad in the current economy of ISO 8. T5 green, you need for a normal difficulty. T2 level 1, that's the blue stuff for difficulty 1, and T2 level 4 for difficulty 2. So not that crazy with what we have in economy. What do you think of these requirements and how they're laid out? Spider Society, then Alpha Flight on this.
Yeah, I actually kind of like it because this means I think we can get 50% with just Spider Society before Alpha Flight comes out. So people that aren't spending or not buying Alpha Flight or anything like that can still do 50%. And remember, if you're getting 50% now, that's going to unlock the next difficulty now. So they changed that.
And the first time rewards.
Have to do it. And the first time rewards, correct.
Yeah.
So
that's a good change. Maybe
even without buying Alpha Flight, you'll be able to get to the hardest difficulty if you just have Spider Society, which is awesome. And then once Alpha Flight comes out, we'll be able to push harder for more rewards.
So one of the issues that people saw when they scrolled all the way down to the bottom, May 29th, 2 p.m. is when it's going to release. That is in like a week, which means Alpha Flight is not going to be here yet. So even without Alpha Flight, we should still be getting more rewards and getting more stuff, even if we need Spider Society. But if we have Spider Society, we should be better off with this rewards at 50% rather than the current raids at 100%.
Oh yeah, because the gamma raids give no, the Greek raids give no rewards. So like the rewards are so negligible in Greek raids.
I get a tiny little trickling of gold, and I get some Ultimus food.
But hey, they said, I think they used the word heaps. I think that was the word, heaps of gold. So I'd be interested to see where these heaps of gold come from. Yeah, heaps right there. I'm quoting heaps here, and you know Benny's going to be quoting heaps.
Heaps of gold.
So
all right.
Let's see some heaps of gold.
Well, other rewards, T4 materials, and they say they're going to take them out of the normal raids, the ultimates, the incursions. They're going to take those out and put them in the spotlight raids. So T4 materials, Crimson Gear, Armory 19 Orb Fragments, Crimson Gear, Spotlight Orb, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit, the heaps of gold, raid credits, and much more. Earn up to 1 billion season points for the raid season leaderboards, lots of stuff. So Alpha Flight raids will be sticking around, making sure new players have a starting point with lower entry restrictions. That is a little different than what they said before. In fact, they said, these spotlight raids will be replacing the Greek raids. So I think this is a good thing. You know, you don't have to build up the Alpha Flight. You don't have to build up the Spider Side if you're a new player. You go through these older ones with some of these requirements that are a little easier to get to. Actually, now think about it. Some of these requirements are a little hard, like the Gamma or the Defenders. Hopefully they still, or the Kree, the Wakanda nodes. But hopefully they still have access to those, can get some of the rewards. But I do like that these are sticking around, lower restrictions. What do you think of this change that was made in this blog post?
Yeah, so it's actually just keeping the alpha the Greek raids. So the Gamma and Beta, the ones who the Gamma, the one that has way more restrictions, that has the infestation defenders that you were talking about, that's gone. So it's just Alpha raids, which is going to be
just Alpha. Gotcha.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And Alpha is just City, Cosmic, or Global, and that's it. So those are the only restrictions. So it's way easier to access for new players, anything like that. They'll still be able to fly through that with like an Infinity Watch for Cosmic. Global would be Extreme, and then City, probably Spider Society. And you could do really, really good things with that. So it should be really accessible still.
Okay, I'm glad you explained that to me, because it took about a half hour on stream just trying to decipher what is going on with this blog post. But so this is kind of true. They're sort of replacing the Greek raids, 2 out of 3, but Alpha is going to keep there. So the Alpha is going to be renamed as the Greek raids. These orbs, make sure you guys claim all these orbs, guys. They're not going to be claimable, so make sure you claim all these orbs. But yeah, it's going to be Greek raids. And if we go into the game right now, we see that we have 2 different raids, and we have 2 different raid keys for that. And it's going to kind of remain the same. We have if we go into the game right now, unfortunately, we already beat our Greek raid, so it's gone. But if we look at the Greek raids here, it has this purple energy, and everything else, the Ultimates, Incursion, even Doom has this green raid. So all the purple raids, which is going to be, it's going to be the Alpha raids and the Spotlight raids, is going to take that purple energy. Everything else is now going to take the green energy. Is that how you understood this?
Yeah. So you're going to have a choice to do the Greek raid, the Alpha raid, if you're a lower alliance or you're a new player or anything like that. And then once you can start getting into the Spotlight raids, that's kind of going to be like the next tier, almost like a difference between Doom and Incursion raids or anything like that. So that'll be kind of the next tier for alliances to get to after they're completing all the Alpha raids.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So you have something to shoot for, and you get something for older veteran players as well, giving them meaningful rewards. I like how this is being laid out. Spotlight raid or debuts. It's going to have various character shards, guaranteeing 5 shards of Void Knight in every orb. How many orbs do you think we're going to get per raid? Half an orb, a full orb? I mean, that could be, 35 shards of Void Knight per week if it's an orb per day. Yeah. So how many do you think they're actually going to give out in these raids?
I'd say 1,000 for normal difficulty, 2,000 for difficulty 1, and 3,000 for difficulty 2. So
you're talking fragments, not orbs.
Yeah,
fragments.
Yeah, fragments.
Wait a minute.
Fragments.
That's more than I would want.
Yeah, so I'd say probably half for normal difficulty, a full orb for a difficulty 1, and then probably an orb and a half for difficulty 2. To be kind of fair, because I mean most of us also got to pick Void Knight for the Dark Dimension 7 rewards, so that was also nice. So
yeah,
but it's a good way to slow roll and slow feed us Void Knight, and a new way to make characters fountainable as well. So I'm cool with it.
What do you think of the selection of Void Knight? They could have picked Gwenum. They could have picked Red Goblin. Void Knight is the best character on that team used in Arena. What do you think of the selection of the best character of Hive Mind being as a reward here?
Yeah, they want to bottleneck it, so they can't put it behind a store currency that we have hoarded. They can't put it behind a campaign node that we can just farm, which is way quicker.
I didn't think of it that way.
It's how they kind of constrain us a little bit to slow roll it, to slow drip it out to us, which I'm okay with, honestly. I get it. Void Knight's an incredible character. I mean, he is going to be good for a very long time just because of his turn 1 ability block, clump, and everything like that. But yeah, I figured he'd be the hardest one to get, and then everybody else most likely put in some kind of raid store, war store, whatever it might be.
Yeah, they said we'll have some mysterious way that they're revealing the Hive Mind farmability this week. So we'll see what happens with that. I do like they mentioned that they're going to periodically update the contents of the Spotlight raid orb. What does periodically mean? Like every 2 years, every 3 years, they're going to be updating this? Or are we getting a big change here? They're doing this every few months, every few updates here.
I hope it changes every single time that a Spotlight raid changes.
Okay, so
the teams that are required.
So
the teams that are required for the Spotlight raids are presumably going to cycle, right? They haven't told us how often they'll cycle or what's going to happen with it, but presumably they're going to cycle, right?
It's going to be way too easy eventually, right?
Right, exactly. So I'm hoping as the requirements change, the orb also change. And whatever cadence that is, I feel like it should follow suit. The rewards should be updated, and then it should go from there. Because it's going to get to a certain point where Void Knight's just going to be the free claim for Mr. Negative on the web store. It's just going to be 5 shards of
Wolverine or Hulk.
Exactly.
Negative.
So it's going to be nothing after a while. So I really hope once they change any requirements team-wise, they'll change the orbs as well. And I hope it follows cadence like that, so it shows some sort of uniformity.
That makes sense. If you're gonna do the work to redo the raids, do the work to do the orbs.
Absolutely.
That makes the most sense. All right, this is the interesting part. Rewards are being shifted. We mentioned this earlier. T4 materials, rewards into purple orbs, adjusted, which in my mind, a lot more in the purple raids. Because the removal of T4 materials from the green raids, the raid season leaderboards will start with a new season of the raids on June 9th. So upcoming very, very soon. But one of the major things I saw here, I expect gear orb fragments and gold orb fragments to replace more versatile raid credits and gold. Do you think this is just for the raids, what we're getting from the raids? No more gold orb fragments, no more training orb fragments? I initially thought this is extended to everything. So the nodes that we're farming on, they would be gone and we're just getting raid credits. As I'm reading this, I think that was wrong. I think it's just going to be the raids, but what do you think this means?
I think this is pertaining to the raid season leaderboard. So I think this is taking away the gear orb putting more gear orb fragments and gold orb fragments to be replaced by more versatile raid credits and gold. So I think they're taking away the actual like the season ranking, not the ranking rewards, but the actual milestones that have been super antiquated for a long time. I think they only give like gear 16 and gear 17. So I think they're replacing
these milestones is what
correct. Because I mean, look how
useless
milestone 45 is, right? I think it's a gear, not even a full gear 17 orb, one gear 16 orb. And do you know how many points it takes to finish that? 350 million. And we're at 14 billion right now. We literally finish it in the first hour of the new season starting.
To update that.
So that needs to be updated. So I'm hoping that's what they're updating, and they're extending the milestones out, so we actually get good rewards.
Totally clear. It's not totally clear what this is. It could. I thought it was for everything. That doesn't make much sense. It could be just for the raids in general. It could be just sort of season rewards. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. And Dulam, even though it doesn't seem like it, we did have an update dropping this week with the rollout releases. We don't get all the exciting stuff dropping all at once. We get it over the course of the update. But a few things did happen. Awakened abilities materials in the raid store, that got changed. So instead of having it green or for something that you have already, now, well, it is going to be grayed out. So that is a good thing. Did you make any errors on this previously and purchase something that you already had?
Probably. Every time I looked at it, I'm like, I already have the passive for black. This is the bit. Okay, I can click it. Like it was just an extra
even able to click on this? No, we're not even able to click on this. So you can't even make the mistake. That is good.
Yeah,
that is
which
good.
Is awesome. So like I had to like think a little bit more because I was like, okay, I don't have the Nova passive. That's the only one I'm missing. The Black Cat, I only have the passive. So I was getting those mixed up. And then obviously the Green Goblin ones we were always buying.
I was keeping, it doesn't matter now, but when I was keeping track of it because I was only buying a couple. And if I saw numbers on it, I'm like, oh, I'm buying that. If I saw zero, then I wouldn't buy it. So that's the way I was keeping track of it. But it's kind of a moot point at this point. Our combat visualization, it looks a little better instead of having everything big stacked into one big clump and you're not sure what are the buffs or the debuffs. It looks a lot cleaner. I like that. Did this help you in any of your battles since this update dropped?
Yeah, it definitely helps when you're going against Spider Society in Cosmic Crucible in Room 2 because they have so many buffs and it's hard to tell who has dodge on them because a lot of the times they have dodge just tucked under the 85 revives, the death proofs, the safeguard, the disrupt, like everything. So it's nice being able to see it kind of truncated now so you can see how many charges people have, which was a big thing. A lot of people would have to hover over Death Pool or hover over Black Knight to see how many charges. Now there's a number on it, which I love. So a lot of like quality of life visibility updates to that were great.
Yeah, that's really, really good. I wish they did this a while ago when they changed how the stack looked. I wish they went further and did it like this because it was even messier before they cleaned it up, but you still couldn't see everything, and now you can see everything. So yeah, I'm glad that this is there now. Maximum raid sims increased from 10 to 16. We already had that for the Greeks, and I didn't notice that on our highest difficulty, the incursion raids. Is this just for these first strike and the lower difficulties in incursion too?
It seems that way. It seems that I don't know. In game, I don't think it had been changed yet, and I haven't been simming that much, honestly.
When I looked at it yesterday, I can't look at it now because we're done with the raid. But it only had 10, so I was thinking it either didn't update or it was only the lower difficulties. So
right.
I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments what you're seeing as far as the sim, because it should be 16 is what I'm reading here, but it wasn't that yesterday. Also, crashes should be lower. They said updated character animations for low memory conditions. As a result, players will need to re-download assets at character select screen. I think this is good for low memory devices. You won't be crashing as much. So all that stuff is good. All right, are you ready for the big event of this week?
Absolutely.
You have your Cabal. You have your out of time ready.
I got
because
5 stars.
This is going to be very, very important. All right, so what do you think the difference is between a 4-star Old Man Logan and a 5-star Old Man Logan? You did test out Old Man Logan on the test server. I didn't use that character yet. So what are your thoughts on Old Man Logan? What difference will the stars make? How hard should you be pushing for Old Man Logan? How valuable was this character? Is it going to make a big difference between a 4-star Old Man Logan and a 5-star Old Man Logan? I have not used them on a test server yet. You tried them on a test server. How big of a difference is that going to be? Should people be trying to get some last minute orbs or maybe even some offers for that Old Man Logan? Will it make a big difference for them?
Oh man, I'm gonna get called a shill for this answer. But yeah, honestly, like that showed how good Old Man Logan really was. Like, I know obviously we didn't have diamonds on our characters going against Old Man Logan, and he's the newest character, DPC. So at a 7/7, he's a monster. But if you're right on the cusp and you're a light spender, I do recommend it. I think that is a good way to try to do it, because I feel like the difference between a 5/5 and a 6/6 will be noticeable. And he is absolutely nuts in war, and they're really good in Cosmic Crucible, as you guys saw with the tournament. I know obviously the kit's not working entirely correct, but he's still going to be extremely good in.
Sounds strong even without that, right?
Even
without
absolutely.
the bonus, the bugs. All right, so what do you think the cutoff is going to be? Because obviously they're going to be cut off. There's going to be some first-time rewards that they talk about. There's going to be some rewards of a 6-star Old Man Logan, a 7-star Old Man Logan, and I'm assuming that's for players that don't have those star requirements for your Cabal and out of time. What do you think the cutoffs are going to be? It's going to be a little more challenging to predict this time because everybody's stargated with the level of difficulty that you do. So where do you think the cutoff is between the 5 and the 6? And will you be able to get a 7 Old Man Logan if you only have 6 yellows on all the required characters?
You might. It depends how many spots there are on the leaderboard for a 7-star Old Man Logan, right? It depends, because 100%. if there's only 500 spots and there's more than 500 people with 7/7 meeting difficulty 15 requirements, then you're automatically booted out, because difficulty 14 score is going to be nowhere near difficulty 15, right? So I think it depends on how generous the leaderboard is and how far it spreads out and how many Krakens there really are. This is going to give a good note to people on seeing how many people really 7/7 characters and really push hard for these events, because that's what the leaderboard is going to be kind of separated by, is who has those stargates.
Now, what are you thinking as far as this last node? We saw some data mines of some of these enemies. It looks like there's a Mephisto on the last node. Do you think Loki and Emma will really make a difference? Meaning, can we just use them, sacrifice them on node 6, or do they need to survive? Do we actually need to build them and take them into nodes 10 as a sacrifice team? How big of a difference do you think these 2 characters are going to make, Emma and Loki?
I think they're there just as kit based, and they're going to make it. So I think they're going to have to survive node 6. I think there's no way people are going to be able to one-shot node 10 without Cabal as a sack being going in there as well. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be possible. I really don't.
You don't think some super team with Cabal, Black Knight, and some other character would work?
Maybe that's the only thing I can think of, is maybe that could work, because Cosmic Crucible rules is one of the packs that you can use. So Cabal is going to be really, really good in this. But it really depends on how the node plays out, who spawns with preloaded turn meter. Like, there's a lot of things that Scopely does behind the scenes that we can't see until we're into the node, and we were not given an opportunity to play test this, so we are going in blind just like everybody else.
Or it could be some very weak characters that are super strong, like Kiln Tower, and just super unexpected.
That's true. Or some super weak looking characters who are absolutely ridiculous, like Pocket Dimension. Yeah. So we got both, man.
We'll see what happens, man. We'll see. We haven't been able to test this on the test servers. We don't have the answers, so it's all guesses. Let me know what your guesses are. But one thing that we did know, the awakened abilities for Old Man Logan. Now, I don't like that they're like delaying this, but I do like that instead of what they did with Green Goblin, letting us know, or letting us know nothing. They say these awakened abilities will ride off in this will ride off into the sunset until Old Man Logan's rolls back into town. So what that means to me is when his second event rolls around, that's when we're going to be able to get some of these. When do you think his second event is going to roll around? Most of the community is predicting October, November. Is your prediction around that time frame? Earlier, later?
Probably around there. I don't know how long it's been between events normally, like with Green Goblin and Black Cat, since they did the trial style of things. I think it'd be closer to about 3 or 4 months. So probably like September-ish would be a generous way to do it. Maybe like September, beginning of October.
Okay.
Because they obviously can't, have the benefit for people who spent and stuff like that there forever, right? Eventually people do have to unlock him at 7/7 as well and get him all the way up and get the awakened abilities.
How long was Green Goblin? Was Green Goblin about 6 months?
So Green Goblin
between when his awakened abilities were available and when they finally came to a store.
Yeah, it was 6 months. Yeah, because Green Goblin was over Thanksgiving, and then they just put it in about a week and a half ago, like we talked about. So it was about 6 months for those awakened abilities. But we are
November. If they stick to that same schedule.
Yeah, but we are getting the ultimate on Old Man Logan through that Blitz event that they've been doing. So that's pretty cool. We get that, and we get some extra gold for just blitzing a little bit. That's cool.
Yeah, and even if you don't get the awakened abilities, you get some extra gold, right? This is nice.
Exactly.
You should already have Deadpool and Deathpool unlocked. Pandapool, you should have him unlocked after this event. What do you think is his first awakened ability, though? All of these are just for war offense. So the special that you revive Daken, just for war offense. The basic is just for war offense. The ultimate, just for war offense. Are these valuable enough to push for these guys just for war?
I'm not a war person, so I'm not the best person to ask, right? I know usually, so what they did with Nowhere, the awakened abilities for Nova helped with the mirror matchup a lot. So it took off a lot of the barrier, and it did a lot of different things that kind of made it whoever have the awakened abilities is better on offense because you could beat the mirror matchup very handedly. So that's what I'm assuming they're doing with this, which I like, honestly. I hate when the only answer to a team is a mirror matchup and it's an RNG fest. That's just not fun. It's kind of like when Infinity Watch came out, it was just the pillow fight of 5-minute matches just hitting each other. So I like that they're kind of breaking that monotony, but yeah.
I hope they never do Heroes for Hire again, where they release a team with no solution, and then they release a solution like 3 months later. That was horrible. But
that was terrible.
Good luck on these. Good luck on pushing for this ultimate. The basic is gonna be bought with an offer after this stuff. After he is released. Do you think you're gonna buy his offer this weekend for this awakened ability for the basic?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No.
You don't want that extra little damage on one of his basics.
Listen, brother. If it's not helping me in Cosmic Crucible, Duelim is not doing anything for it. Okay, I will do the bare minimums. I have the most fun in Cosmic Crucible. That is where I have 3 diamonds ready to go on leader already. So when he gets to 7/7, he'll have 3 diamonds ready to go, and I'm about to buy Iron Patriot. I'm just waiting for him to show up in the store. So I'm already preloaded 3 diamonds on them, just ready to go.
Right.
So and Namor's already 3 diamonds. Like I took Cabal all the way up. I'm not slacking on that team at all.
That's a good team. Yeah, that's a good team.
Yeah.
All right, another good team. It's gonna be a dirty war defense team, but also for the Alpha Flight raids, they're in the game right now. The Alpha Flight team. What were your thoughts when these characters got announced? Obviously, we knew Sasquatch and Guardian would be in the team because they are they got to the fan vote. Northstar was the other character. Sunspot got the nod on this team, even though I don't think he's from Canada, and Wolverine is on this team as well, from Canada, not really on Alpha Flight. What do you think of this selection of characters? Are you really familiar with Alpha Flight? Did it make a difference for you?
Outside of the reworks, my first initial thought was who? I'd never heard of this team before anybody was talking about it, and a lot of people were like, oh yeah, it's a Canada-based team. I'm like, okay, cool. Like they sound kind of cool. As for the reworks, I was enamored. I was really happy because Wolverine I have a 2 diamond on, and Sunfire I have a 2 diamond on that I pulled randomly from orbs. So I've got some pretty high pulls on them, which is really, really nice. And best of all, they're not just a war defense team. They're also used for raids. So like you don't feel bad or feel like you're punishing your alliance by wanting to go lighter on this war defense team. You need them for raids. And I think that's the best way that Scopely has ever done kind of circumventing, because they used to use war defense teams for scourges, right? Because we had Young Avengers used for a scourge. And now we're using this. And this is kind of another way to circumvent it, to be able to get their usability elsewhere without giving them their own CC room or just giving them, arena tags or anything like that. But now we can use them in raids. And I think this is a great community friendly way to circumnavigate it.
All right, let me play devil's advocate, but now they're double punishing us if we don't get this team. They're punishing us in war, and you're punishing your alliance in the raid. So
that's true. That's true.
I think this is a good team, though. I think it's a good team. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, no, but the team's really good, though.
Need this team.
Yeah, the team's really good. Sunfire is essentially the battery. Wolverine, big damage. His ult can actually kind of ping now. So if you kill somebody with the ult, he'll ping to the next lowest health target and can potentially kill them as well. So he's really cool. The team looks really fun, honestly, and the team's really, really good defense as well on war, and they're going to be pretty strong.
Have you tried them on war defense to test them out?
Yeah, they're pretty good. Old Man Logan team still beats them, but they're still a pretty good defense, honestly. And like I said, the fact that they're going to be used for raids as well is really nice and makes me not want to just take them to gear 15, level 80, and call it a day.
And were you able to jump on any raids in a test server to test this out, or would they I don't know if they work on any raids
so unfortunately
that are
you can't
right now.
Yeah, you can't test them anywhere other than Greeks because
that's too easy.
And Greeks are too easy. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't think about it before I took them too high to what Greeks would be kind of challenging on. Because I was thinking after, I was like, I'll take them to level 60 and try them at level 60.
Yeah, but your Sunspot and your Sunfire Wolverine would have smashed everything else anyway.
Exactly. So it wouldn't have mattered really. I see the team doing well in raids. I mean, if they're designed for the raid nodes, I'm not worried that they're not going to be able to do it. I think they're going to do well. And again, they're double use, so I'll take it.
Interesting thing here. Not a big thing, but no X-Men tag for Sunspot for some reason. I don't know if it makes a huge difference. And Wolverine actually has one. If you click on him, it doesn't look like he does. But if you click on the X-Men tag, Wolverine actually has one in the background. Sunfire, nothing though. So I find that a little interesting. But let's talk about the new character here, Pandapool.
Yeah,
I think I got lucky on this one. I was asking chat if I got lucky or if this is a good event. You guys said I got lucky, so I take my thoughts on this event out because I was lucky on this one. What are your thoughts on this event? What do you think of this Pandapool event? Good event, bad event. We got to go in arena. We got to win some blitzes. It seems pretty friendly. What do you think of the orb itself?
The orb itself is pretty good. So it guarantees a 3-drop on the right, which I like. It's guaranteeing at least 3 shards. And then I'd say I've had only about 4 out of 12 orbs that have not had Pandapool in the middle. And again, that could be luck, right? But it seems like the drop rate, there's a lot of different choices in there for him. There's a 12, a 15, a 12, an 11, a 10, and then also dropping down, there's like a 9 and an 8.
It's a high percentage of Pandapool when you add all that up. Does that add up to more than 100%? I'm not.
So that's
probably not.
Probably around 50%. But there's the drop rates seem to be pretty friendly, honestly. And then as for arena events, I know it's kind of controversial because of arena slingshotting and collusion and stuff. Luckily for me, I don't have that issue in my arena shard. And I also have Apocalypse, Super Scroll, and Black Knight to G19. So I'm sitting pretty close to the top always without really having to be around for reset, which is nice. I know your arena shard is nuts because you got Boomer, you got a lot of OGs in there.
We do have OGs, but I don't see any Mephistos, so it ain't that nuts.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, well that's good. No Mephistos yet. Nobody's sitting at number 1.
Not yet.
With their crown.
There'll be one soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think about these rewards? Okay, I think they're okay. What do you think of these? I mean, obviously these good ones are whale stones, but some of these normal ones before the Merc contract.
Yeah, they're average.
Pandapool.
I mean, nothing to write home about, honestly. There's some teal. They're starting to put in some mutant G18s before the event item as well, which is nice. So they're starting to give those out more. So if you're still chasing Super Scroll for newer players that are getting in there, they're getting a lot more access to G18s. which is really, really nice. So that's good. I like that because that's really free to play accessible as well. You see the mutants, those are, and then the up there as well.
All that stuff.
So that's good.
Cool
I really like that. The teal gear seems to have kind of ended the bottleneck there with these for newer players as well, who are obviously not spending on passes and such. So that's nice.
Oh, and that raid store updates a couple weeks ago. That I think was a huge update to the bottlenecks of teal gear. What do you think? Which makes me
remember that's probably why they want to give more raid credits when we talked about that. Remember they said they were going to be giving more raid credits. They want to give more raid credits because you're getting all the gear from the raid store update, which is I think doubling down on their good nature move of making the raid store so good now. So I think that's great.
Yeah. Hold on.
Sorry, I kind of derailed you.
I'm leaving a pause so I could know how to edit this.
Yeah.
I want to come back. I don't want to miss that later. Now jumping back to this event, Dulom, there are ranking rewards. Normally with this, I'm like, if there's ranking rewards, you push. With the scoring though, I don't think it's possible to push more. It's based on your uses of Spider Society. You have them where there are. Bamboo orb fragments that there's only a certain amount that you get because they're based on arena rank rewards. Is the only way to push your ranking rewards based on this just buying stuff? Is this just an auction for these diamonds for Pandapool?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's all it is. It's just how hard you went on Spider Society. I know there's a pass for Spider-Man Pav right now, so that's probably trying to push the sales for that. And then obviously anything else is just doing good in arena, but even the difference between number 1 and number 10 is like 500. But
where am I?
You're still top 1. As long as you get top 1 to 3%, you're good, man. That's it. That's all you need, so you can get those mutant gear, red mutant pieces, because that's almost 3 full pieces right there of red mutant gear. So that's a lot, man.
Yeah, the red stuff is so expensive. What do you think of this Alliance event going on right now? Pretty good rewards. Do you think that this Merc contract being all the way at the bottom, I don't think a lot of Alliances is going to get this. Do you think this is going to be a problem to complete the main milestone event?
We've brought it up because without this, we may not be able to finish it.
We've had nothing. No answers.
Yeah. Because I looked at this and I was like, oh, the event items at the end, that's kind of odd. And then I looked at the rewards around it and I'm like, there's no way they're giving us 3 mega golds.
Going back to we brought this on Friday. It's Thursday now. We still don't have it's been almost a week. We still don't have an answer.
Yeah, and then I realized I was like, there's no way they're giving us 10 million gold, 3 mega gold orbs to free-to-play alliances and everybody. There's no way. So I was like,
they're
that's
not even
problematic.
giving us this 15 panda shards. They're not giving us this for free.
Yeah, I think you can get to 16 if I'm not mistaken, because I think the Battle and War caps at 443,000. And then
the rest is just buying points.
And the free claims as well. And the free claims. So we get 1,000 every day for Alliance.
They know how much exactly how much you're gonna get. That's all capped.
Right. So I think we can get the milestone. I think it's 16. I think we can get that. Maybe 17 too, if there's like a slight push. Maybe get a mega gold orb.
Weird. These allies supply orb fragments. Sometimes it gives 500. Sometimes it gives 1,000.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I think it's giving 1,000
so
now.
Who knows what the hell the allied support orders are gonna be?
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know. It feels a little scummy putting an event item at the end.
At least 15 based on the 430 max war stuff. So at least these Black Knight shards, if you're really pushing with your alliance, not that bad. All right, let's move on to the character that was released this week. I don't have him unlocked yet, but we do have the star for that character, Daken, all the way down here. How much of a difference maker is this character in war? I know you're not a war player that likes a war a lot. I don't like it that much either. But what do you think of this character's value in war? Have you tested him?
I have, yeah. Daken is probably the second best character on the team, with probably Pandapool being a close third. Pandapool's really, really good. Honestly, the whole team is kind of a really close clumping in second and third place. Old Man Logan is just far and beyond the best character on the team, no doubt. Like, it's not even a question. But Daken's really good. We were talking a little bit. I'm kind of comparing this teim to almost like MOE, where it's like Kang is the linchpin of the team, and then it's 4 like supporting cast members. So I'm kind of like Pandapool's kind of like the Absorbing Man because he's the tank. I think Daken is honestly the Titania because he's really good. He's got a lot of controlling effects, a lot of damage as well, which is really nice. And then Deadpool is kind of like the Moonstone because he's doing the stun. He's also getting an execute.
So
but
Deadpool
honestly,
is Ultron. What the?
I don't, and that's the thing. I don't even really think there's an Ultron on the team. Honestly, I think there's no like floor that you're like, oh, it's Ultron, got to take him out.
Is nowhere the better comparison with the awesome Nova character, and then these supporting characters are like, they're all right.
Maybe
Pandapool's like the Korg.
Yeah. So the team is
Daken
really
would
good.
be the Infinity Watch Thor. If you
that's true. For the big damage
guy. Okay.
Yeah,
I like
but
it.
the team is really good. The team is really good. He's kind of the big damage dealer. Honestly, it's all the team surrounds bleeds. It's just getting bleeds on everybody, and then Old Man Logan just starts zooming and hits like a freight train.
I am so looking forward to unlocking my own, and I'm so fearful of all my opponents facing that Old Man Logan crash.
Absolutely.
It's a double-edged sword tomorrow. Our old Man Logans, but all of our opponents as well. Great for PvE content, sucky for PvP content. Let's move on to some great PvE content. Or questionable, I guess. It was a certain way before. What are your thoughts on this Temporal Dimension? The rewards, we got some pretty decent first-time rewards, some pretty decent time rewards. The difficulty, we were talking about this. I think it was tuned for endgame players because I enjoyed the difficulty. Difficulty 7 was a little tougher than I would want, but it was able to get through. We're using our health packs. We did have a lot of time for this, but I obviously, if it's only for gear for endgame players, a lot of the community is not going to be able to access this. Mid-game players, newer players, not going to be able to get any of the rewards as well. Yep. They fixed it and got a lot easier. What do you think of the new difficulty? Obviously for us, it was a little too easy, but what do you think of the difficulty for the overall community once they fixed it?
I think even for the overall community, it was too easy for the rewards they were giving out. Because the problem is the rewards that they gave out, people that were able to complete it had a G14 level 75 Cabal. And they were able to complete it. And they are not seeing red gear for another 4 to 5 gear tiers. If they're at gear 14, they literally have 5 gear tiers to get to red gear, right? And is it nice to have a backlog of it? Yeah, absolutely. Free stuff is free stuff. But like, it wasn't proportional to people's accounts. I did think the difficulty of it at first, I thought Node 7 was a little too hard because of the way you had, the Quicksilver and the way you had to kind of finagle the room. Like the second the Quicksilver dropped, you had to have Iron Patriot taking his turn and ulting to stun Quicksilver. So that was not fun. But the rest of them, it was just punching bags essentially because they were just high health.
Yeah, I was thinking this Val one. If you're trying to one-shot, that's a problem. If you're trying to two-shot that's nothing because the safeguard was a problem. She doesn't come back with the safeguard in the second shot. This Kestrel, I didn't get to this Kestrel when it was hard difficulty, but when they adjusted it, man, she was like nothing. I think she was like 2 million power initially. Now she's 254, 252. So now for that, they gave us some rewards. They gave us some compensation, lots of health packs, which I think if they left a difficulty, this was a proper amount of health packs. For myself, I didn't use anything after they adjusted the difficulty. Power Chord is always nice. Everybody benefits from that. Gold is always nice. What do you think of these rewards? And do you think they were good, too generous, or too stingy?
Honestly, I think they were too generous because they could have just given the power cores to the people who spent power cores on refreshing. Because I didn't spend the power cores on refreshing because I was assuming they're gonna fix it. Like this is too hard, so I didn't spend any power cores, but I still got 500 for free. And other people were spending power cores because they ran out of health packs and they were trying to core their way through it. And they still got the same 500 that I got. I don't know if they got anything extra. That I don't know, but I got the same amount as them. So honestly, I think it was a little too generous.
I thought it was a good reward as well. The generosity was very, very good. I liked it. All right, let's move on to the next epic campaign, Dark Dimension. I am still not in, but there are a lot of people that have entered. I believe there's about 500 people. You said you just got on. Who are the first 5 that you brought in?
Yeah, first 5 I brought in was APOC, Super Scroll, Black Knight, Spider-Man Noir, and Robbie Reyes were my 5 so far. I actually have Big Time Spider-Man done as well because he's tech gear and I don't need tech gear really. And he's ready to go for City. So I'm 3 out of 5 for City already as well.
Nice. All right, well, I got my first character done, Robbie Reyes. I'm working on the same guy. I'm just working the big three like you are. Super Skrull, Black Knight, Apocalypse. They are varying levels of closeness to being done. I'm not sure who I'm going to bring for the third. Why did you choose to bring in Noir? Was it because of his gear? Was it because of the value you thought the character? Was it because what he brings to the Spider Society? What was behind the rationale of this character?
I've always liked Noir since we had that last season in our season 6 in Cosmic Crucible in Room 1 with the Secret Defenders with the assisting and stuff. That was when I built Noir for the first time, and I really liked him. He's a really cool character. And I think honestly, he is only 2 Mystic pieces, and he uses he gives a lot of bleeds for Robbie as well. So Robbie gets more turn meter from the bleeds you're giving. So he's kind of like the Firestar instead. So, but I didn't want to take Firestar because I didn't think she was going to be that useful. So I took him instead. And honestly, his use in Cosmic Crucible because of the raid room has been really great. And also he's a really good plug and play character in Crucible. So I really like him. And I think he's going to continue being a good character and continue that plug and play ability in Crucible as well.
All right, you sold me. You sold me. I'm not sure where my gear is going to be at the time that I'm getting close, but if it's very close, I might just take this character. I've already put some teal pieces on him, so just a few more crimson pieces to go. If you guys are building up your 5 or Dark Dimension, who are your other 2? I think everybody's trying to take Super Skrull, Black Knight, and Apocalypse. The other 3. They're the question. Let me know who your other 3 are. All right, so that is it for the news, Brother Doom. This went a lot shorter than I thought with all these big topics that are coming up. Cosmic Crucible Tournament, new rules, Old Man Logan, Spotlight raids. What are you most hyped for, brother?
Oh, the trials for sure. I love trials, and I really hope there's a lot of gameplay taken out of it. I'm hoping it's not just, hey, you're behind this Stargate and the difficulty that you're able to do is super easy. That's going to be really frustrating because I like the gameplay, the puzzle mechanic of trials. It's really fun. I'm really excited for that. I'm excited to get Old Man Logan and then start using him, and Cosmic Crucible starting next week as well. That's going to be exciting. I'm really looking forward to those.
Yeah, and when you say taking that content, taking it out, that's you're taking the content, you're playing the content, not hoping that they remove content.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I just hope I can't go in there and just auto it because I can't get to the next difficulty because of a Stargate. I just hope it's not super easy.
I hope it's tough. I don't want it to be auto. I want to figure stuff out. I want a puzzle that I got to figure out and then have that satisfaction like, yes, I figured this puzzle out.
Yeah,
that's what I want. I don't want to auto it.
I don't want everybody stuck at difficulty 12, all scourges, and it's just a tiebreaker fest on who got through it 1 turn faster. I don't want that.
That's my fear. I think it's going to be like that, but I hope it's not. Let me know your thoughts. Congratulations again. The best envoy of us all, the winner. Have a great rest of your day. Make sure you guys give him a follow. If you got some value from this video, leave it a like. It is free for you. Helps out that YouTube algorithm in the channel. And if you want to check out what to do to win in Arena right now, get those Pandapool shards, check out the video up there. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Make sure you check out the winner's channel. The links are down below. Are you ready for a winner Hulk Fist? Well, I want to Hulk Fist the winner. Are you ready for it?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Hulk Fist ValleyFlyin and the best envoy of us all. Have a great rest of your day, guys.